first time since I've been doing politics, 13 years now, not as long as you, but 13 years in politics. It's the first time I'm really hearing a lot of people giving up. And I really hate that. I mean, I hate it for them. There's nothing like the despair of loss of hope, right? I mean, just the depths that that'll take you to when you believe that there's no hope.
Yeah.
And so I am hearing that. So one of the things, my job, your job, is to go out and give people like that hope, tell them, no, all is not lost. But I'm also seeing this, as you're describing, I would describe it as an intensity in those who are in the fight. I've been reading Thomas Paine's American Crisis, and it's so interesting to read that. We all know common sense and its effect with common sense, but when he wrote American Crisis, things were really bad.
That's right.
Right, and this is, you were describing Washington losing all the troops.
And he wrote it a week before they crossed the Delaware. I mean, he's literally watching the defeats of in New York right before that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize he's a soldier. Like, he is out there in the field with the army.
Yeah.
They're marching during the day, and at night he's sitting around a fire like this,
writing
with
those
his
kind of
quill,
words.
writing this stuff. I mean, it really
These are the times that try men's soul.
Right, and so he talks about, and I think this is so important for anybody who's watching, he talks about, it's cliche now, but the summer soldier and the sunshine patriot, right? What he means by that is the people who, I'm all in when it looks like we're going to win. You're close to victory. You're marching on the Capitol. We've got momentum. I'm all in. And he says those aren't the people we need, and history won't remember them. History will thank the people who were in Washington's time when they had no shoes, when they couldn't pay the bills, when there was no food, when they were eating shoe leather. And those people who stuck with Washington during that time, who re-upped their commissions.
Yes.
So today, what I see is those patriots are out in the field. People like you guys who are watching right now, you're not watching because you've given up. If you'd given up, you wouldn't be watching right now, right? So they're watching because they have hope, they have belief, they're willing to fight now when it's hard, and it's real hard right now.
Yeah.
It's hard for regular people. It's a lot more scary out there, I will tell you, than it was 13 years ago when I started. You might hear the knock of the FBI on your door, or you might hear the knock of the IRS on your door. They're doing this stuff
getting real, man,
now, right?
Yeah.
So I know you talk about that, think about that with your family. I do too. Patty and I talk about who do you call? You know, if the FBI comes calling and you get led away in handcuffs, who gets called, and how do we deal with that?
Right.
This is serious stuff. And so what I don't want to do is diminish the people's fear. I get it. I get, if you're nervous about this stuff, that's not irrational. But if you let that fear paralyze you, if you let it drain your hope from you, then what you're doing is you're giving in to the enemy. And by the enemy, I mean those who oppose us in the American body politic, right? The leftists, the Marxists, the communists. You're giving in. That's what they want. They want to take your hope away and your belief away. But you're giving in to the one true evil. Literally, Satan walking the earth. What he does best is he lies to you and he robs you of your hope. And he makes you despair. And in your despair, you lay down and you don't fight any longer.
Yeah.
We just can't do that. We don't have that luxury anymore. Yeah, we don't have the luxury to be so afraid that we don't act. We don't have the luxury to be without hope, so we just despair and we don't act. This is the time for men and women and families and everybody to step up and step in. This is our moment in American history.
And I love that. All right, folks, go read An American Crisis. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will in this present crisis shrink from service to his country, but he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny like hell is not easily conquered, but we have this consolation. I forget exactly how he said the next line, but it's something like, the more difficult the cause or the fight, the more glorious the triumph. So even though we do sense this despair and we see the difficulty that's happening, we would have never thought this fight would have to take place on our soil, that we would be dealing with Marxists in the highest positions and in control of most major institutions in the country. But that's the deck, man. That's the hand that we've been dealt. That's where we stand. And to shrink from that service would be to be a summer soldier or a sunshine patriot.
Yeah, and I got to add one more thing. It's awesome.
I love the fight. Ronald Reagan said, I don't want to live in pale and timid times.
It's so great.
We get to live at a time where what you're doing makes a difference. Think about that. Every time you have a rally, every time someone new joins the cause, I tell you, you could be the one that is we're teetering between liberty and tyranny. To be able to know that putting your shoulder in could push it the right direction, I wouldn't want to live at any other time.